Steve Hansen, welcome, joins us. Is he one of your favourite All Blacks, one of your favourite players that you've ever coached?
Yeah, he is. He's a man who has given a lot to the team, a lot to the jersey, and he's done some wonderful stuff off the field as well. So we should all be very proud of him.
Selfless is the first word that I wrote down. I mean, he's obviously a brilliant player, but I want to talk about him and the character of him. And you know him, as well as anyone, if not better than most. Those aspects that he brought to you in that dressing room.
He had a massive amount of integrity. What he said he'd do, and you could trust him. His work ethic was great. Under pressure, he didn't buckle. And he had great connections with other people. He wanted to be more than just about him. He wanted to be more than just a good All Black. He wanted to be a great All Black and play as many games as he possibly could. And he came through an era when he got tutelage from Brad Thorne, who he respected a lot, and Brad taught him a lot. And I think one of the things he taught him was that you pass on what you've got, and he did that in the changing shed and off the field.
Will anyone ever play that many games or that many test matches for the All Blacks again? It seems unlikely.
Yeah, probably they will. I mean, we always say that something will never get done again, but it always does. So at some point someone will, and they'll be a great player too. But right now he's the man, isn't he? And he's deserving of all the celebration and all the wonderful things that people are saying about him.
Longevity, though, to play from 2010 and 2013 at that level, at that intensity, it's quite remarkable.
Yeah, well, I think that again shows something about his character. Like there's a fair bit of stubbornness in there to be able to do that, and discipline as well, like to turn up and train and get the Sunday to Friday part right. As he's done, to play as well as he has on the Saturday, and his family have obviously been very, very supportive, and that's that'll be the reason why he's retiring, because he's realised now it's time to give back to them, and he'll still be enjoying the Saturday, but having to put all that effort in to play that well from Sunday to Friday, he now wants to put that effort into his family and his work life away from rugby, which is, he's from a farming family, and he'll go back farming, I guess. So it's a wonderful career, but there's been a lot of sacrifices made, and he will realise at this stage it's time to give back to those people that have sacrificed for him.
Steve, is it any coincidence to you when you talk about the farming background? He comes from a small town, so did certain McCaw, and so did Dan Carter as well. And a lot of our great All Blacks, they've never, even on the field, I mean, they might have been the flashiest, they might have been the most brilliant players, but just in terms of their off-the-field thing, it is, we have so many that have come from that have come from very humble beginnings.
Yeah, well, I don't know if farming is a humble beginning, but what it is you live in the country and you learn to play every sport that's going, because, the schools you go to aren't that big and they need all hands on deck, and you learn a work ethic as a young farming child. Coming from a dairy farm myself, I understand that, you got to get up and milk the cows, you're expected to do the hay, from early age you're driving the tractor. So there's a work ethic that's installed in you, and that's the only way you can learn it, is for someone to install it in you. And once you have that, then you couple that with a bit of talent, and in this case quite a lot of talent, you can go to places that other people can't go. And if you look at, Aaron Smith's another one from fielding, Cody Taylor, another one from fielding, like that era also of young men had some great tutelage, and the Whitelock boys, there's a number of them, their father played a big part in tutelizing the school lads at fielding. So I think small places force you to have to understand and play different sport and different games and a background that you don't normally get when you're in the city, because city life's a little bit softer.
Was he a natural leader, or how did leadership come to him when you were coaching him?
I don't think anyone's a natural leader. I think they develop those skills, and he was definitely interested in being a leader because he cared about the team and the people around him. It didn't matter what team he was in. And he had the characteristics that allow you to be a good leader. So, like all people that have given that privilege and that opportunity, how you start's nowhere near how you finish. You grow and you develop and become better at it. It's like any skill, isn't it? And well, hopefully you do. And he did that. One of his great attributes, as I said before, was his ability to connect with people and care about others as much as he cared about himself. And that's a great starter if you want to lead teams.
Where does the winning mentality and that absolute focus on just being the best in the world, but also your team winning, where does that come from?
Probably comes from his family initially, and then his competitive spirit as a young boy, wanting to be successful, and then you get in teams that are successful, and when you're in those teams, you just want to keep being successful. Once you have a taste of it, you don't want to stop it. And he went through a tremendous era, not only with the Crusaders but with the All Blacks, where there weren't too many games that were lost.
No.
And they had a lot of confidence in themselves as teams, and they got into positions sometimes when maybe if they weren't so much like that, they would have lost. But they believed in themselves and they believed in each other, and they gave each other confidence. And once you taste success, you want more of it. It's a drug. There's no doubt about that.
From looking from the outside in, he doesn't appear to be a guy that has changed much, but I bet that's not the case. I bet that he has. How have you seen the changes manifest in him from when he first became an All Black to what you would have seen even last year at the World Cup?
Oh, look, he was a shy. Everybody that comes into the All Blacks is always a wee bit shy and apprehensive and not sure and a little overwhelmed. But he became a man that walked in. He's got mana. People look up to him. He's got a voice, and he's not frightened to use that voice at the right time. So, but his basic characteristics haven't changed. That's the thing that, about these great players. They don't have to change too much because a lot of their characteristics are pretty good.
Do you feel blessed that, you went through that coaching era where you had these names, McCaw, Carter, you had Kiwi Mealamu, you had Owen, you had all of these centurions, Conrad. I mean, I could go through the whole list. You mentioned Aaron Smith before. I mean, these are legendary All Blacks that played so many games. How did that help you that you had those guys and they were all so consistent?
Well, you can throw out Bowden Barrett in there too,
yeah,
another,
good point.
Great player. And how did it make me feel? It made me feel great. When you've got talent, coaching becomes easy. If you don't have the talent to work with, then you've got to really work hard for your dollar. But when the talent's there, you can take it to places that you can't necessarily do so if you don't have that. And as I've always said, it's been a wonderful privilege to be part of an All Black era that was pretty successful. And to be part of any All Black team is a privilege. So to be part of one that was really successful was awesome. And a lot of that goes down to the talented people that we had, not only as players but other coaches, management, doctors, right down to nutritionists and baggage men. They were all very, very good at what they did and wanted to be successful, and most importantly, each and every one of the members of the group wanted to be better every day.